Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I'm your host Lauren Sidhu, and I'm a business development manager here at Enable. So I'm involved in kind of talking to prospects and helping them through their sales process. So today we're looking at how to leverage your commercial teams to make better deals. And hopefully you've seen our previous webinars that we've got up online as well, but if not, they are on our website, so just take a peek at those as well. But today is all about commercial teams, so we're joined by Neil Jenkins, a product manager here at Enable. So hi Neil.
Hi Lauren.
So if you want to tell us, Neil, a bit about yourself and what you do here at Enable.
So I've been at Enable just over 2 years. I was previously a business analyst, so that involved a lot of writing specifications for new functionality for the DealTrack product. Now I've moved into the product management team, so now I'm more involved in the roadmap and what the upcoming features are going to be.
Yeah. So, and I believe that's a new position, as you said.
Yes.
Yeah, recently. So you're doing something right. Okay, great. So if you have any questions throughout, just pop them in our Q&A. They should be on your screen, and I'll hopefully answer as many of those as possible. And the agenda for today really is looking at who's involved in making those deals and what the relationship is then like between those various areas of the business. And then looking at the tools that could really help and support them, but particularly how these tools can help a commercial team. So Neil, to set the scene then, let's talk about who's involved really in making these deals in the first place.
We're talking a lot about the value to the commercial team today, and so by commercial team, what we mean is the teams that are at this interface between manufacturer and merchant or distributor. So that's going to be a sales team in the manufacturer and some procurement team in the merchant or distributor generally. So it's the team that owns that commercial relationship. So they may have different job titles depending on the organization, but that's the area of the business that we're really focusing on. And so they are going to be managing the broader commercial relationship usually, of which rebate is one part. Rebate can be quite an important part there because it can be really useful in influencing the behavior of the trading partner. So from a manufacturer perspective, they may want to increase sales of a particular product, and so they want to incentivize that. And so if you buy enough of this product, then we're going to give you some advantage somewhere else by giving you a percentage of purchases back, or however the deals are structured. But they're usually with this aim of either bringing that relationship closer, so making sure that the ties remain strong, or having more of a specific goal to incentivize a specific behavior.
Okay. And within a business, what teams are involved? You mentioned commercial.
So the commercial team are going to be setting up deals and agreements. There are going to be finance teams and accounting teams who need to track what those agreements are doing and put the effect of those deals into the accounts. Most of the people that we talk to are doing accruals-based accounting, so they're going to have to post an accrual, and they're going to need to justify the numbers that they're putting into their rebate accrual. So the more evidence they have to look at, and the clearer they are on what's in place. They don't need to chase people around with bits of paper in 200 different filing cabinets scattered in branches all over the country.
That doesn't sound easy.
Then that can be a big help to the finance team, and that's where there's a lot of interface between commercial and finance in the rebate space. More broadly as well, there will be other areas of the business that are going to be interested in the commercial relationship where rebate is this tool. So a merchant or a distributor, their sales team might need visibility of what rebate agreements are in place, because it might influence their pricing and it might influence what it is they're trying to sell and what they're bundling together. A manufacturer, they might want to know what rebate deals are in place because it might link into what their manufacturing process strategy is. Are they ramping up production of a certain product because that's what they're setting up rebate deals to incentivize it? So there's a lot of probably weaker touch points, but commercial and finance are probably the two teams that are most heavily involved.
So how is the relationship then between different areas of the business, and have we seen any issues?
It can be tricky at times, I think, in businesses, because a lot of communication is required.
Yeah.
So, for example, between commercial and finance of what agreements actually exist. We've certainly seen instances where agreements are either very heavily paper-based, and if it doesn't end up in the right filing cabinet, it kind of can be lost to the sands of time.
Yeah.
Or there's a small number of individuals who understand quite complex spreadsheets, and that's where everything lives. And so even if communication is good, there can sometimes be misunderstandings because not everyone has the same view of the truth of what's been agreed. So that can make it tricky if finance departments are trying to base accruals that they're going to be audited on, and they're going to have to justify the numbers that they're putting down into month-end and year-end accounts, but they don't feel that they have a really clear understanding of what the commercial team are agreeing. That can lead to some issues. And then beyond that, again, these wider touch points with the business, just actually having access to the information and to overviews of what information is relevant to them without having to dig out a contract and fully understand all aspects of it.
Yeah, so I think it's not only therefore just viewing the same information, but interpreting it the same as well.
Yeah.
And I guess as you said on that last point, I've spoken to individuals who were in the business, for example, the sales team needs to see the deal. So it's not always necessarily the supplier or manufacturer or whoever your trading partner is that needs to see the deal. It's actually individuals within the business as well. And again, you don't want to be going through filing cabinets to find that. So again, I guess, where it is can have an impact on a variety of things. Okay, but there are tools emerging in the market now to help this communication, broadly falling under the term of a rebate management system. But for our viewers, it'd be good to just talk about what we mean by that, because for some people it can be a new concept, and they're kind of like, we know rebates, but what's a rebate management system?
Yeah, and it's a space that is relatively new. And when we talk about a rebate management system, really we're looking at softwares that have a rebate agreement or a rebate deal as one of their core entities. So that is really what all of the functionality is going to be focused around. And so that will allow you to handle everything from creating that deal and helping with tools for helping you negotiate the best deal, recording that both parties have agreed to that and what the final version of that deal is. Then you can additionally go to tying those deals in with data from your ERP or wherever it needs to come from, so that you can automatically calculate what the consequences of that deal are. So what rebate you're owed or what rebate you need to pay out. And you can track that then all within one system, with it all being attached to the agreements that actually exist. So you can look at this particular agreement that you have with this trading partner and know all of its history and all of its consequences.
So essentially it's all the information you need, but in just one place.
Absolutely.
Creating ease for everyone, I guess.
Yeah.
So we mentioned, Neil, in previous webinars, the benefits to finance teams in particular from a rebate management system, haven't we? Absolutely,
and it comes back to, I think, a big part of it is having a central repository of all of your rebate deals. So you have one place to look at the truth of what exists, and it's all laid out there. It's clear, and things shouldn't be agreed outside of that system that relate to rebate in an ideal world. And so their finance know that they can go and look at that repository and know what the state of play is, so that they can do the accounts, they can do the accruals, raise invoices and statements, etc., knowing that what they're looking at is the same understanding of the world that the commercial team have set up.
Yeah, and I guess then as well it's like confidence, isn't it, that the figures, are in a system that have calculated it from their data. So there's more confidence that those figures are correct as well, to go and chase individuals or pay money out, for example.
Completely, and because they know what data it's all based on, then they also have that audit trail and check. So the system should be tracking what activities people are taking when it comes to rebate deals, and also it can link into where all of that data has come from. So you've then got your auditors kept happy because you're using a system.
Yeah. So Neil, we talked a lot in the past about how a rebate management system could help a finance team in particular, and the benefits really to those. But I don't think we really talked about a commercial team and what's in it for them, I guess, and what's the benefit for them. So maybe you could talk us through that a bit. What's the benefit for a commercial team to using a rebate management system?
Commercial teams have a different day-to-day job, I guess. So for a rebate management system, to them is about being able to accurately record what it is that they're agreeing, where they've had conversations and they've had potentially quite lengthy negotiations to get the deal that they've ended up with, and having a systemized and standardized way to record that so that it can be well understood by the wider business is one big benefit to them. Another thing about a rebate management system is the information it can allow them to have in front of them when they're doing those negotiations. They want to get the best deal they can out of any rebate agreement that they're setting up. But that can be about more than just getting the best rate or trying to get the maximum amount of money kind of written down on the piece of paper. It's about trying to incentivize the right behaviors and make sure that it's going to work from the bigger commercial picture. And so a rebate management system putting in front of them things like, how did last year's deals perform? How does the deal that I'm currently negotiating and starting to set up, can we put some predictor on how that might perform this year? And just giving them more insight and more information when they're doing the negotiation to give them more ammunition to go into those discussions with.
Yeah, and we've seen from current clients as well how much of a powerful tool that can really be, really taking in last year's deal, for example, into negotiation with a supplier and saying this is, kind of how well it performed, and helping influence that. I'd say we've actually heard of stories of that, which is great to know that it is providing that benefit. Okay, so beyond then, I guess, helping them in negotiations, is there any other kind of benefits to helping the commercial team set up deals that is useful with a rebate management system?
Another aspect is that it allows them to keep an eye on how those deals are progressing once they're in place. So throughout the deal, there's still a lot of commercial discussion and movement going on around, is that deal being made full use of? So from the manufacturer's point of view, is this actually causing us to sell more of the products that we were trying to incentivize? From the merchant's view, are we maximizing our margin by buying from the right suppliers? And so there's still a lot to be monitored. Particularly, a lot of rebate deals have targets, and so you're going to earn different amounts based on the amount that you purchase. And so being able to monitor that and see how you're progressing against those targets might affect buying and selling decisions throughout the year. So again, it's about wringing as much value out of what you've got set up as possible.
Yeah, and I guess then, as you said, kind of analysing that data and seeing where, how to base your next decisions and what to base them on, and having the evidence to do that. Okay. So Neil, it's no secret to us that we have a rebate management system called DealTrack, and hopefully not to our viewers if they've been on the website. So if you could just talk us through, I know obviously with DealTrack you just need a username and password and you're good to go, right?
Absolutely. One of the key cornerstones really of DealTrack is that it is this one-stop shop for everything rebate. So it is very much centered around rebate agreements. They belong to trading partners, so you model the trading partners that you do business with, you model aspects of your business like what are your products, what are your locations, and then you can construct these agreements. There are then areas within DealTrack that are targeted more at different teams, so there's aspects of where you can look at what should we be accruing to date, and if you are collecting cash against rebate deals and tracking that through DealTrack, then what are we still owed? As well as for the commercial teams, more of a side of tracking current deal performance, modelling what a deal that's in negotiation might do, and also managing forecasts of deals. So telling the system what your commercial plan is for the year so that it can then try and help you understand what the effect of that plan is on what you're going to earn from your rebate agreements.
Yeah, so it's not really just a system about helping, I guess, in creating that communication between different teams, but actually there's actually areas of DealTrack that are specific to certain teams that is helpful in their day-to-day jobs.
Absolutely.
Would you like to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So to conclude, Neil, we've discussed that if there's issues really between the relationship of different areas of the business, it's usually down to lack of communication. But we've discussed now there are tools out there to help, so a rebate management system. And we've discussed in the past how that helps finance teams, so in terms of accruing, collecting or paying out rebate, but actually how it's a really powerful tool for commercial teams in terms of helping them set up deals in a way that provides them with some freedom, but that is easy for everyone to understand. And then also taking that information into meetings with suppliers or trading partners and negotiating better deals. But then we've also kind of said that a rebate management system and in particular DealTrack is a deal-centric piece of software. So it's also about managing deals in the long term with your trading partners and actually just creating clarity. And that's a big benefit in itself. It's not just about rebate deals we're talking about here, but deals in general, having them all in one place that is easy for anyone across the business to log into and understand, I think is quite key.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Neil, while we've been chatting, hopefully there's been some questions coming in. So let's take a look at some of those. Okay, so Neil, what specific information would a system provide to a commercial team to help them in negotiations? Because I guess we've spoken a lot about how it helps them negotiate, but not specifically maybe on the information and what it provides.
Yeah, during the negotiation process, it's about giving them as much context as possible, really. So part of that is context about the general relationship with that supplier, just to probably confirm a lot of what they've already got a good feeling for if they are the person responsible for that commercial relationship. So how much spend is with that supplier, potentially what is the breakdown of that spend across product groups, locations, and also how did the rebate deals that were in place in either the last year or the last few years, how did they end up working out? Did they achieve what was wanted? How much did they earn? Again, you can break that down in lots of different ways depending on what's relevant to what you're trying to achieve in the negotiation. And then regarding what's being planned for the future, then it's about modelling what's the possible likely outcome of the deal that you're currently mocking up and negotiating.
Yeah, so I guess by providing that supplier information, if someone new's picking that up, it's quite clear to them what the relationship's been like in the past as well, because I guess as we know from individuals using Excel, if that one person gets used to knowing it and using it, it becomes quite difficult if that person leaves or for whatever reason retires, etc. Whereas if you've got that information in one system that's easy to access and understand, anyone can really pick that up. So I think it's probably a business process benefit then as well.
Completely. Yeah, pulling that relationship into the system and really starting to document the conversations that are going on and what's been going on over the years, rather than it just living in people's heads. Yeah.
Okay. So another question, does the system allow you to control user permissions? So this is one I frequently get from talking to prospects, and the simple answer really is yes, you are able to control user permissions. So for example, if you have an individual that only deals with a certain supplier or trading partner, they can just see that supplier or trading partner if you want them to, and so on really. So as soon as they log in, what they see on DealTrack might vary if their user permissions is restricted in some way in terms of who they can see. But that's definitely something that we can set up. It's probably more a conversation for a process once you purchase the software and speak to our team in setting that up. But it's definitely something that's available and possible to do. Okay. Another question is, I'm interested, but what do I need to consider when implementing a rebate management system? That's a golden question, I'd probably say. Another one another one I regularly receive. So I'd say in terms of what to consider. It probably varies depending on where you are in a purchasing process potentially. Are you ready to buy, or are you just looking around? But generally I'd say there's a couple of things that you could or need to consider. So first of all, data. Is that coming from your supplier or your ERP system, for example? Budget. Have you looked at the pricing, for example, with DealTrack? That's on our website. It's got a nice little slider on that. And timelines as well. When would you like to be live with the software? And bearing in mind, obviously, getting your deal information into the system and getting that corrected, factoring that time in. And then also a project lead probably as well on your end to help liaise with us, for example, or any other provider to make sure that we understand your business right and have set it up right, really. Quite crucial to it running in the first place. I'd say those various things, but it's probably good just to get in touch and have a chat with us, really. It's probably easier, particularly then once we understand your business a bit more as well. So I'm seeing a lot more questions here that look great, but I think we are pushed for time. So keep them coming in though. We're happy to answer those. We'll be in touch after this webinar and make sure you get an answer to that. So don't worry about that really. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found it interesting. Thank you, Neil, for your time today. I hope you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, don't forget to follow us on our social media channels. So we've got LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and so on. So keep up to date with us. We're always publishing new content that you might find useful. But really, if you're interested in DealTrack, just get in touch. We've got a nice little request a demo button on our website, and that takes you through to a nice calendar where you can just slot a time in that's suitable for you, and we can discuss your situation and show you how DealTrack works, and you can see for yourself what you think. So it's a great way to really just get an insight into the software really, and if you are interested, it's an easy option with a click of a button. So hope to see you next time. Thanks for tuning in again, and take care.